Hey there, welcome back. We're in Module 2 right now, which is the Getting Started module. This is Section 1, where I want to talk to you a little bit about the new features that QuickBooks 2018 has. Typically, when they release a new version, they have some enhancements to the software, or maybe they've added something that makes it more friendly for the user. They haven't had any really big ones in a few years, but there are a few this time that I think will be very helpful to some of you. Let me go ahead and flip over to QuickBooks and we'll talk about some of those new features. QuickBooks has several different flavors. One is QuickBooks Pro, which is the one we're currently using here, and typically most small business owners will end up using this version. They also have a Premier Edition, an Accountant Edition, and an Enterprise Edition. And each one might have a few options that another one does not have. For example, if you're using this QuickBooks Pro, you can have up to 5 users, whereas the Enterprise Edition allows you up to 30 users. Each one will have some enhancements from the previous version. If you want to see where those new features are, you can run a tutorial under Help, and you'll see New Features, and you can go through what's called the New Feature Tour. I'm going to walk through some of these with you just so you'll be familiar with what's here. And one of the new ones that I really like a lot is the ability to work with multiple monitors. If I wanted to see QuickBooks on both monitors that I have connected, I would be able to do that now. This will actually work with up to 3 connected monitors, and they need to be next to each other. Let me show you how to turn on the multiple monitor option. If you go up to View on your menu, you will see Switch to Multi-Monitor Mode. And it tells you that they have to be next to each other. And then you'll see, if you had 2 screens, QuickBooks will show up on the right-hand side. Now you can't see mine, obviously, but I can tell you that I see it over on the right there. It's really, really cool how this works. If you wanted to turn this back off for some reason, go back to View and you can switch to Single Monitor Mode. The next thing is this option to stay logged in. Previous to this option, if a user clicked the X at the top of QuickBooks and closed QuickBooks, then what would happen is they would still be logged in. So the next morning when QuickBooks was opened, you're still logged in as the same user. You can turn on an option now. This is in your preferences. We'll go through a little bit later. But you can have QuickBooks log you off every time the user closes or exits QuickBooks. Also, there's an option if you want to keep a user logged on for a certain amount of days, you could do that as well. Next, they have more secure webmail now. You've had the ability for several versions now to actually send emails through QuickBooks. What I mean by that is if you wanted to email an invoice, a purchase order, for example, then you can email them right from that invoice or purchase order. Now you have the ability to use some additional email providers that you didn't have before, and you have to have an Intuit ID to do this, so make sure you've set up yours when you set up your company file. QuickBooks now works with Gmail, it works with Hotmail, it works with the Microsoft Live and Outlook, and you could set those up here in the preferences. There's now a past due stamp on your invoices as well. Now we've always had a paid stamp, which is blue, and then in recent versions it became green. But now if an invoice is past due, it's in red, and you can kind of see these here. And this would be where your customization is. You'd have to go into to actually check the box if it wasn't checked. We'll talk about how to do some of this as we go along, but just know that you can actually set that up now. You can also search in your chart of accounts. This is nice if you have a long list of accounts and you're looking for a particular one. You can just start typing the first few characters of that name in the search box and it would look for it for you. So when we get to our chart of accounts, you'll see how that works. Also, when you're looking at reports now, you've got a quick way to toggle back and forth between the accrual and the cash-based. Before you could do this, but you had to actually go to Customize Report to get to that option. They just made it a little bit easier now to flip back and forth. Those are some of the basic things you're going to see in the QuickBooks Pro. I will just mention a few other things. If you happen to have the Accountants Edition or the Enterprise Edition, for example, they've got a really great feature for you guys where you can actually merge multiple vendors. You have the ability to merge two vendors, and it's just a workaround now. It's not really an option in QuickBooks, but now if you had up to 4 and you want to merge them, you could. It would merge all the history together and everything, and you're going to find out in the Accountants Edition or the Enterprise Edition, and you're going to find it up under the option that says Accountant. Those are some of the things that I wanted to mention to you that are new features. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Why don't we go ahead and start setting up our company file now so we can get going and you can see how QuickBooks actually works.